In this video, we're going to demonstrate the process for manually creating an account in the Automotive Technology Online Curriculum. I have already logged on to the URL for the IMS Demo 261 site. I have already logged in as an instructor in this site. And so the process for manually creating an account in the site is that we need to go over here to Site Administration. We need to click on Users. We need to click on Accounts. And we need to come down here and choose Add a New User. The items in red with an asterisk indicate required fields that have to be filled in. And so I usually make it my practice to make the username the same as the email address for the person, because that means it's kind of something that they are already used to using and it's easy to remember. And then you must create a password. And then if you click on this unmask button, you can double check that you typed the password that you wanted to type, because once you hit the submit button down at the bottom, this becomes encrypted and you can't recover it. So you have to make sure that you typed what you wanted to type, and then you can click the unmask button again and you can't see it here. This, I think, is always a good practice to force a password change. That means that when the information is given to the individual to go to this site and log in, they will use the password that you created right here, but the system will ask them to create their own password and save it. And that makes it just more secure. Then they would be the only person that would know that password. And you have to put in a first name and a last name and an email address. And double check that you spelled it correctly. The other thing too is that if you don't have an email address or you're not sure what it is, you still have to put in some text in the form of an email address here to make the system go ahead and process the creation of an account. It's important that this address is an active account if you're trying to really communicate with another instructor or with your students. But for the process of just getting an account created, any text that's in the format of an email address will work. And then the next thing that you need to fill in, it's not required, but I always fill it in. And even though it doesn't ask for state, I always put it in. That may not be important for you if all your students are coming from the same state. And then there are other options. You can add pictures, you can do your interests, you can do nicknames, other information, but this screen is the basic screen for the minimum that it takes to get an account created. And so you hit Create User. And now if we come back over here, there's Rich Branton. His account has been created. Now you can do this for a student, and if you're doing it for a student, if Rich was a student, he's already set up with permissions to be a student. But in this case, we want to make him an instructor. And so if we go to permissions and assign system roles, we can assign him as an auto course administrator, which gives him pretty much total control of the site, or we could make him a non-editing teacher, which means that he couldn't do any updates or add or remove any of the activities, but he has access to all the activities and he could grade. So let's make him a non-editing teacher. So if we click on that, then this screen comes up, which nobody else in this site is a non-editing teacher, and these are all of the people in the site, including students, who we could make a non-editing teacher. But we just need to find him, highlight him, hit the add button, and that transfers him over to the existing users. site, and he has now been assigned the role of a non-editing teacher, and he has all the rights and privileges of that role. That pretty much is the process. So I hope that you found this video helpful and that you'll take a look at the other videos that are available. Thanks for watching.